Hi, friends. What's going on the counter? It's wet. Okay, here we are. It's Monday. It is the perfect opportunity to begin again, to realign, to refocus. I hope you had an amazing Mother's Day and you ate the things and you had the fun and you felt celebrated. And if you didn't, if it was a disappointing day, I'm sending you a big hug, lots of love. And we have today, right? We have today to love ourselves and to prioritize our own journeys and to show up for ourselves. And that's what this is about. It's about us loving ourselves and showing up for ourselves and it not being perfect. So you guys, I kind of was like, I just have to start my reset. I'm going to start right away. But then a couple of you are going to do it with me and you're not ready to, and there really is so much power in doing it with other people, right? So I decided I could control my controllables by going back to gut protocol today and just starting where I'm at. And it's probably the smarter way to do this because I have been totally eating like a trash panda, having all the coffee, multiple cups a day, having creamer in it, having sugar. And gut protocol is a really great way to kind of meet it in the middle and start to eliminate some of those things like so that it's not like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So I printed my tracker and I was like, yay, I'm day one. I made myself this beautiful breakfast. And then I go to track it and I was like, I had yogurt. See, I'm telling you this because sometimes we have the best of intentions and things still kind of go sideways. And I could, old Sarah would be like, oh, it wasn't perfect. We're just not going to count today. I'll start tomorrow. No. Okay, I'm gonna count it. I am doing gut protocol, even though I had yogurt for my first meal of the day, which you don't have dairy on gut protocol. Oh well, it's fine. I'm gonna log it. I weighed myself, and I took my measurements, and those aren't numbers. It's just data. It's right. I'm having success beyond the number. Okay, but let's not lie and be foolish. I show up to my journey because I want to feel and look a certain way, and I'm not feeling or looking a certain way. So I could allow this again to discourage me, or see, I'm telling you these things because I worked so hard on this mindset. So if you were telling yourself, if you're like, oh, well, I couldn't do that. No, you could. It's just an intentional mindset shift. It's an intentional focus. It's perspectivals every single day that we put on, and we look for the wins. We look for the ways that we are doing it, that we're capable of it, that we're already winning. You guys, it's not just the bare bones data. Okay, so I saw that number that I haven't seen in a really long time and the measurements, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have one hell of a transformation. That's the attitude I'm going into this with, and that's the attitude I want you to go into it with. Not like, oh, I'm starting so behind, or I've gained so much weight, or whatever. And who cares? That doesn't serve you, and it's not going to motivate you long term to show up to your journey. So be with me today in this imperfect journey and show up and do what you can and control your controllables and still drink your water and highlight the wins. Okay, so here's where we're at. This is me, already imperfect. I've already messed up, gone off plan, but it doesn't matter, right? I'm just gonna log it. I'm gonna do my best. So let this be a reminder to you that you don't have to have all the data. You don't need to have consumed all the information. You can start a day one, a chapter 50, right? You can start today without having all the information and being an expert. The way we become an expert, whatever that is by the consistency, and it's by making the mess ups and finding the ways you have to pivot and highlighting your win. This isn't about toxic positivity. This is about you choosing to be the leader in your life and a winner in your story. And I could tell you 500 words around the number on the scale and the size of the clothes and the fact that I had yogurt, or we could just be like, you know what? I am a human on this journey with you, okay? So that being said, I want to talk to you about your workouts, whatever program you're doing. If you're doing a program, which I really hope you are, if it's a body block or you're rocking an old school, maybe you even have DVDs, that's super rad if that's what you're doing. I want you to treat it like your favorite TV series, okay? Or even a chapter book if you're not into TV. And no matter how much time has passed, no matter what happened last week or whatever, you just pick right up where you left off. You don't have to go back to the very beginning. You don't have to start over. You don't have to completely scrap it. That's a mentality that will not serve you. It does not feel good, and it's a perfectionist mindset that we are all about breaking up with, okay? So just imagine it's a TV series that maybe you haven't watched in like a week, but you just pick up where you left off, okay? You don't need to do the recap. You don't need to go back to the previous week. you just pick up where you left off and you check that day off and you modify as needed and you collect your wins and you keep freaking moving. This is about forward trajectory. This is about you cultivating consistency. This is about you changing the story if your story hasn't been serving you. And it's not some aha, it's not some heaven sent angels are singing moment. It's just you simply making the decision that you're going to make a promise to yourself and then you're going to honor that promise. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's modified, even if it's 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day is so much better than no minutes a day. You do not need to beat yourself up. You don't need to do anything differently. If you ate all the things like I did yesterday, you just log it. If you're doing that, if you have a food log, you're going to log it and then you're just going to do your best today, right? So I've had some breakfast. I'm focusing on my water. I have some lemon in my water and I just made my shake. So today, I think it's interesting to hear how people make their shakes, especially if you're starting out and you're like, I don't really know what to do with this. I'm not going to lie. In the very beginning, I wasn't a huge fan of the flavor, but it's also not a freaking Reese's peanut butter cup blizzard, okay? So it healthy sometimes doesn't taste as good as the garbage, and that's okay. It's partially your palate needing to change, and it's also just something that I think becomes an acquired taste. Okay, so I have, I'm actually using vegan chocolate. My preferred one is the whey chocolate, but I found that the whey doesn't really like me as much as I like it, so I'm drinking vegan. And in here I put some ice cubes. I used half almond milk, half water. I had some frozen rice cauliflower in my freezer, so I threw that in with my ice. I also did a handful of spinach and I had cashew butter in my fridge and a little dash of cinnamon and a half of a banana. And I'm gonna blend it up and I'm gonna drink it and I'm gonna count this as 2 greens, 1 vegan red, 1 purple, which is and then I'm also gonna count it as, I'll do 1 teaspoon, which is a gray. If you're doing the portion fix or you're doing gut protocol, that's how I would count it, okay? So wherever you're at today, I hope that you set a new path for yourself this week. And that doesn't mean you start something new. It could simply just be refocusing, recommitting to what you've been working on. And know that this isn't a 30-day thing. We're not here for a 21-day transformation, okay? This isn't a quick fix, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This is your life. This is your life that you are in training for, not to be fit, not for a hot girl summer. It's to be a strong old lady, okay? I want you to have a hot girl summer, but I also want you to focus on those other things that aren't necessarily scale victories. You know, like you can keep up with your kids, or you can paint your living room without like having to take a nap, or you can go on a walk, or you can do the things. I want you to feel good in your skin, and you feeling good in your skin is a choice that we make by honoring the promise to ourselves and taking the daily action and just doing it. Even when you're mean girl talking to yourself, even when you're doubting yourself. Your journey is yours, okay? We're not all gonna be lockstep. We're not all gonna do the same things. And that's totally cool. My goal as your coach and your guide is just for you to feel proud of where you're at and to continued momentum and to rewrite the story in your brain. Because a lot of times our stories are totally whack and they're not factual and they're not true and they keep us small and stuck and on repeat. So if some part of your journey isn't feeling good, it's not feeling aligned, you don't need to have a 40-hour freaking journaling session. You don't even need to do anything more than watch this video and just what is the first gut nudge that comes to you. Maybe it's your nutrition. Maybe it's starting to pick a program. Maybe it's replying to my text messages. Maybe it is listening to something while you move your body, or just getting outside and putting your feet in the grass and going on a walk and looking at the sky, collecting your wins intentionally. That's the whole point of this journey. So I'm super glad you're on it. We don't have to be perfect, people. We are not here for Sports Illustrated. We are here to feel good and strong and brave and proud. That is the name of the game. So I am super stoked that you're here with me. If you need anything today, please hit my inbox or text me. Mondays are kind of weird days because Marshall's around, so I'll probably be doing house stuff. But tomorrow I'll be sitting down and catching up with all of you. I know a few of you are interested in the Ultimate Reset. And I can't wait to chat that through with you. Again, there will never be a perfect time for any of this, okay? We just make a decision and I'm happy to help you figure out what your best option is and what your best bet is, but don't talk yourself out of something before you even begin. Whether that's a program, whether it's a reset, whether it's, you know, a commitment to getting up early and having a gratitude or meditation practice. This is about you figuring out what you need in your life and then taking the daily action and not not negotiating with yourself or your goals. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel proud. And I want you to take some action today that supports all those things. Who and what does your next level self need you and want you to do? And then do some of that and be super proud. Don't talk yourself out and be like, well, it wasn't as good as it could have been, or I had to modify, or it was only 5 minutes, or it was imperfect. Who cares? No one else cares. So stop, okay? Collect the wins. I drank my water. I moved my body. I listened to Sarah. I consumed something that was positive outside of, I drowned out my negativity with something positive, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna drink this. I'm gonna clean my kitchen. I'm gonna listen to my latest audiobook. And I've already moved my body. I logged it in the bod group. I'm sharing my journey in here. I'm logging my food right here. And that's how I'm showing up to my journey today. So show up to yours. Don't negotiate yourself out of it. It doesn't have to be super complicated or difficult. If you need help, I'm here.